All right, I want to talk about expectations and anger again in this video. I've talked about it a lot of times, but I'm going to talk about this again because this is such a hard concept for many of you to get, and I understand it. I totally get it. I totally get why a lot of you don't get it, but I really want you to understand this because it's so critical. If you get this, it will change your life for the better. I promise you. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. I teach you how to be a man on this channel. Click that subscribe button and join us. Take the Bulldog quiz up here in the corner. And if you don't mind smashing the like button, that would be awesome. All right, so we're going to jump right into this here, and I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look at this. And I have a bit of a short answer here to this question, but I'm going to give a more in-depth answer in this video. That's why I put it here. So he says here, Andrew says, I'm having trouble. Now, this is in week 89, dealing with anger. So in the Bulldog Mindset membership, there's a link down below. I have a video. I have lessons every week on different topics. This one is dealing with anger. Okay, this is a mindset issue. If you haven't joined the membership, by the way, now's a good time to go check it out for $7 for the first month. Before I think the prices have probably gone up already by the time that you're getting this. So if you get in for the trial, make sure you do that. So, all right. Also, we have a huge community in there of men, like over 900 now. So Andrew says, I'm having trouble with the idea of just accepting any wrong that has been done to you. I can definitely see how this could work if the perceived, quote, wrong was trivial. But what if it was more serious, e.g., someone you trusted has broken into your house and robbed you of $100K of jewelry? It doesn't seem wrong to expect that this shouldn't happen, and accepting that you are $100K down as a result of some idiot chancing his luck isn't something I believe most people could just shake off by saying, I won't let it happen again. Well, I have a story for you, okay? I'll tell you, all right, because I went through pretty much this exact scenario. So back, I can't remember exactly what the date was, but I was in Santa Monica. Okay. I was out there with a friend, and I had just finished investing in real estate. I invested about $250,000 into this deal, a syndicate deal. I won't give you all the details of it. Actually, yeah, it was about that amount. Okay. And what ended up happening was that while I was there in Santa Monica during this time, I got this text from a friend of mine who said, "Hey, I need to talk to you, real quick here." And he basically said, "Look, this guy that you invested this money with, he's in jail right now in New York City on fraud." Okay, so on fraud. Okay, so think about this. Okay, I just put now. $250,000 is a lot of money for him. In fact, I'm thinking it might have been, the reason I'm having trouble telling the story is because I think it was $350. I'm trying to add up the math here because it was like $250. Actually, it was $350. So $350,000. That's a lot of money, right? All right. So he says, the guy's in jail on fraud. I try to confirm with him. I'm staying calm. And I'm like, okay, let me confirm. He sends me the mugshot. He sends me the booking record. I'm like, okay, clearly on fraud. This guy's in jail. I try to reach him. I can't. So I'm like, okay, there's nothing really I can do right now. And so I took a deep breath. The person I was with, my friend, was like, what's going on? I explained the situation. And they said, hey, do you want to just go home? Like, you probably should go back to San Diego and deal with this and not have dinner and everything. And I took another deep breath. In my mind, I said, you know what? All right, I just lost $350,000. Okay, I accept it. And that was it. I had dinner, had a good time, forgot about it. All right. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, yeah, right, John. No, seriously, that's exactly how it happened. It's exactly what happened. Now, am I saying that you can just get to the stage of acceptance just like that? No. But remember, I've been practicing Stoic philosophy. I've been practicing this and believing this and living this life for a long time now. All right. This is why I want you to have the Bulldog mindset. This is why I want you to let go of anger. This is why I want you to let go of expectations and start accepting reality. Because here's the thing about this, all right? Like, looking at that situation, there was nothing I could do. It was outside of my control. Okay, it was ridiculous for me to have an expectation that money would be safe or that person wouldn't be a fraudulent person. But I want you to understand this point, okay? First of all, is that I really have no control over what another person does. Okay. Now, you could say I had control over my choice to invest that money. I did. And I could have done more background investigation. I probably should have, but I didn't at that point. At that given moment, getting that information, getting that text, okay, it was ridiculous for me to have any expectation on the world to be any different than what it was. Because reality is what reality is. And I could have fought that in my mind. I could have been upset. I could have been angry. Okay. I could have been worried. I could have scrambled back home and tried to make a bunch of phone calls and just tore my hair out. I could have been angry at the guy. I could have said, how dare you do this? I can't believe you did this. I can't believe that you did this. I want to get revenge on you. I want to take vengeance on you. Now, obviously, I want to recover my money, and I took steps following that day to do that in a logical, analytical way. All right. Obviously, there was some amount of emotion involved. I was a little bit scared that I was going to lose that money. I was a little bit upset that I was potentially going to lose that money. But I had, in that moment, when I got that text, I immediately took that deep breath and I accepted. I said, this is a new reality. Okay. This is a new reality. Now I'll tell you what happened in a little bit here, but I want you to get this point first. So the thing is, and I'd written here in the comment here, okay, is so what's your alternative, right? So you can be angry and refuse to accept reality, or you can realize that what has happened and that your expectations do not affect actual reality in any way. This is the truth. This is the only truth. The only truth to the universe is this, is that reality must be accepted. Whatever is. And see, you're suffering now. You may be in pain. Pain is not optional. Okay. If I smash my thumb with a hammer, there will be pain. But suffering is optional. It's always optional, guys. It is. And anger is a useless emotion. It is not necessary. It comes from a lack of acceptance. It comes from an unmet expectation. Every time you have anger, it's because you have an unmet expectation. So don't have expectations. And I know that's easier said than done, but if I can do it, you can do it. Believe me, I used to be the complete opposite. All right. I used to be a guy who was upset because someone didn't say the right words to me, because some girl that I expected her to acknowledge me did not acknowledge me in the proper way. And therefore, I'm going to throw a hissy fit and be upset about that and try to let everyone know how upset I am. That was me at one point in my life. Okay. But I had to learn to release the expectations that I put on people and expectations that I put on reality in general. It's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous to expect to put an expectation on the weather as it is to put an expectation on another person. It's really, you have just as much control over what another person does and as what you do the weather. And it's just as ridiculous to get upset about what a person does as it is to get upset about the weather. Think about it. You don't have control over that. So what you do have control over is how you interpret things and how you react and how you respond to situations. Okay. It's not to say, again, like looking at the scenario, he says, I'm having trouble with the idea of just accepting any wrong that has been done to you. Okay. Let's just break this down. How can you not accept what wrong has been? So what is the alternative to not accepting what is wrong been done to you? It's to reject it. It's to say, this cannot be. It's to not face reality. It's to have an expectation that reality is different than what it is, and it doesn't make sense. If some wrong has been done to you, first of all, it's an interpretation. Wrong is not objective. Okay, it's subjective. What I mean by that is that, as Shakespeare said, it's nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Okay, and it sounds like a cliche. It sounds like, oh yeah, whatever. But these things, no. It's absolutely fundamentally true. Now, it's hard for us to recognize this truth and to come to grips with it and to come to terms with it. And I struggle with it from time to time. I mean, there are things that I think are objectively bad, but I realize they are subjectively bad. Okay, because I know the truth of the situation. So you must accept when wrong has been done to you. The first thing to do is to not call it wrong. It is what it is. Okay. When a hurricane happens and it destroys lives and property, we don't call it wrong. But a hurricane, you have just as much control over a hurricane as you do over another person. They're like NPCs in your life. And essentially, they're running their code. They're running their program. If they do something to you, it's not personal. Even if it is personal, it's not personal because it just is reality. It's just what happened. It's just the thing. Okay. It says here, I can definitely see how this could work if perceived wrong was trivial. All wrongs are trivial. It's all trivial. It's all small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Okay. This whole thing, this whole life, you can't take it so seriously. Everything is ephemeral. Everything is temporary. You will die. Okay. Everything you have will disappear. It's all just a theater, a show. Okay, enjoy the show. It's the only way to look at life. It's not that serious. You're going to die at the end. We know how the story ends, okay? Somebody just starts broken into your house and robbed you of $100K worth of jewelry. Okay? That's fine. That's what happened. This is reality. This can happen. It doesn't seem wrong to expect that this shouldn't happen. It is wrong to expect this shouldn't happen. Now, you can have standards, and don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to break down this any further because let me just put this way, because it doesn't mean that you should just accept everything that happens and allow it to happen again and not have any kind of standards for yourself. The difference is expectations are what you put on other people in the world, and standards are what you have for yourself, what you're willing to accept. Okay, so you can have rules. You can change your course of behavior, right? Just like a rat going through a maze, you don't just smash into the wall over and over again. Okay. But you have no way of knowing where the wall is going to be until you go and run the maze. Okay. And you're running the maze of life right now, and you're learning these things. And maybe a person proves to not be trustworthy. There's no need to be angry at them or even hold a grudge against them or be upset at them. It's just you learn some information, and you're going to use that information now to live your life. And so maybe you don't even have them in your life, not because you're angry at them. Okay. It's because you're making a clearly analytical, logical choice that it doesn't make sense, that the risk is not worth it to have this person in your life. Okay. You have to make judgments or decisions from a rational perspective, not an emotional one. You can have emotion. You should have emotion. If you haven't checked it out, again, Bulldog Mindset membership, I've got the 3 levels of emotional mastery in there. Go click it, go join it if you haven't already, and go learn how to become a man, how to stop being an emotional little bee. All right. I'm trying to use less profanity so we can get these YouTube videos out more. By the way, clicking the like button helps, but go join the membership and learn these things and be in a community of men so you can understand this and see people applying this. Okay. But here's the deal. You can have standards and you can modify your behavior and you can learn from things, but and you can choose to have people exclude from your life and to not trust people, but do it because it makes sense, not because you're angry or upset. Okay. That is the wrong way to do things in life. Okay. And it's going to take a toll on yourself. Why experience negative emotion when you don't need to? The only time you ever experience negative emotion is when you have reality and you have something that you think reality should be and they don't match up. So just love whatever is. Okay. There's a lot of people wiser than me that have said this throughout the ages, right? Memento mori is like the focus on death. Okay. On realizing your own mortality. Amor fati is the love of fate. You need to have the love of fate means that whatever is, I love it. It is beautiful as it is. I know this sounds like, John, this isn't practical. It is. I live my life this way. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, but I'm getting closer and closer to that level of dropping all expectations that I have on life and just letting whatever be. It's so refreshing, for you guys, especially having girl troubles. Okay. I know a lot of you guys are. It's so refreshing when you're like, you know what, if this girl likes me, that's great. That's awesome. I like her too. But if she doesn't, or if she, does whatever, she cheats on me, she leaves or whatever, or she doesn't like me anymore, or she goes to me, that's okay too. I have a good life. I have a wonderful life. I have so many other things. I've got this book I want to read here. I've got this other girl that I want to talk to anyway. It's all good. It's everything. It's all good. There's nothing. Oh, my friend who I knew for 10 years betrayed me and took some money from me or something. That's fine. I'm glad I found that information out. It's, it's fine. That is what it is. It is what it is. It's fine. I'll make some more money. I'll make some more friends. You see what I'm saying? I know this may sound like lunacy to you, but you really can live your life this way. And it starts with acceptance. It starts with getting rid of expectations. And when you do that, then you'll find that you'll be at peace. Like tranquility. The goal of Stoic philosophy, by the way, is tranquility. That is the goal, the state that that the Stoic desires to be in. And it's not a state of no emotion. It's one of acceptance. So to finish this story, what ended up happening was that when I did get back, I stayed calm. I set up a meeting with the guy that I had invested in. I found out a little bit more information from some of his business associates of exactly what was going on. Ended up getting on the phone call with him. Didn't make any assumptions, didn't make any expectations, just released the expectation of seeing my money again. Okay. And release any kind of expectation of revenge on him, but still trying to recover my money, talking to a lawyer and figuring out what can I do from a legal perspective. In this case, can I sue him? Can I, what options do I have? Okay. So very much taking the proper steps. And what it turned out was that there was a previous deal he had done in the past, and there was some history with that. And I had a big meeting with him and went over all of the things and found out that it wasn't that big of a deal. Okay. And it didn't affect my current investment, and my current investment is still doing fine and great. So I didn't end up losing that money. Okay. But I was willing to lose it. Okay. And at some point in the future, maybe I will, but that's fine. It's okay. I'm willing to accept. Now, I'm making rational, smart choices. I'm not just saying anyone can come in and steal my stuff. I'm not just saying anyone can come in and betray me and these things, and I'm just going to accept it and it'll be okay. But I'm not going to get angry about it. They're my choices. I let these people into my life. I gave this person my money. Okay. I did these things, and some of the things aren't my choices, but I don't have any control over them either. So there's no point being angry. There's no point having expectations on things. Okay. If anything I would have an expectation on, it would be on myself and my own behavior, but that I call a standard. Okay. Because that is something that's in my control. Expectations are outside of your control. Standards are in your control. So I have very high standards in my life for my own behavior and for the kind of people and behaviors that I will allow into my life. And that is all up to me. Nothing that should happen in my life that affects me internally should be externally based. It should all be up to me. That's the goal of a Stoic. Should be the goal of all of us, because that is the only way to live.